magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Kamusta po kayo mga kausapang pantahanan? Ito po si Mami Fem. At welcome po sa ating pong episode on Family or Home and Family Series at pang number 17 na po. At syempre, I would like to greet my energetic partner na si Mami Narlene. Hello Mami Narlene, isang magandang araw sa iyo.
Hello, Mami Fem, at lahat po ng aming mga fans sa buong mundo. Alam mo, Mami Fem, nandito ko ngayon sa Leyte kasi meron kaming reunion ng ating mga classmates. At timing na timing ang ating pag-uusapan kasi tungkol ito sa moving on. Alam mo naman siguro ang kwento ng Leyte nung magkaroon ng Bagyong Yolanda. Very devastating ang event na yon. And look now, lahat po kami ay naka-move on at maligayang. Yeah. So mga kaibigan, mga kausapang pantahanan, ang ating pong magiging panauhin ay isang happily married woman na 46 years na po sila, na mayroon siyang 5 anak, 4 na lalaki at 1 babae. At sila po ay blessed with 10 grandchildren. Sila pong mag-asawa ay members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Her husband is the current Ward Elders Forum Press or President, while our guest for today is currently serving as Area Online Institute Teacher. They are temple workers every Friday in Manila, Philippines Temple. She studied at the University of the East, Caloocan, and of course, she is now a choir member and a lover of movies. And she loves to cook, read various books, especially history books, and loves reading the scriptures too. And our guests believe in the saying, if there's a will, there's a way. If none, forget it and go to the next chapter. Mga kausapang pantahanan, let us welcome Mami Vivian Baluyot.
Yan. So let's learn from Mami Vivian about moving on with life.
Hi everybody. Good day to all of you. I'm Vivian Baluyot from Fairview, Quezon City. I'd like to thank Mami Fem and Mami Narlene for inviting me here in their prestigious program Usapang Pantahanan and share some insight about hope or pag-asa sa Tagalog. Just to set your expectations, dear viewers, that I'm neither an expert motivational speaker nor a known psychologist. I'm just a simple senior citizen with a lot of experiences in life. It's my hope that I can share something to inspire you today. The word hope is sometimes misunderstood. In our everyday language, the word often has a hint of uncertainty. For example, we may say that we hope for a change in the weather or a visit from a friend. Hope in dictionary.com defines to believe, desire, or trust. In the language of the Gospel of Jesus Christ, however, the word hope is sure, unwavering, and active. When we have hope, we trust God's promises. Personally, I have been so many challenges and trials in life. At the age of 8 years old, my mother died. My father left me and my 3 siblings under the care of his parents in the province because he needed to work here in Manila. That made me felt an orphan instantly. I can say that it was tragic. Though life in the province was hard, I can say we are all loved by my grandparents and by our relatives. At the age of 14, my father brought me here to Manila to study. I was second year high school then. After 6 years of being a widow, he remarried. And a year after he got married, I eloped and got married too. I was only 16 years old and my husband was only 18 years old then. Teenage marriage, I should say. Wala pang family code noon, kaya pwede pa. Of course, our life is not easy. We encountered a lot of hardships while raising our family and at the same time adjusting to our situations. Luckily now, my husband and I were now in our 46th year of our marriage and still going strong. We have 5 children and 10 grandchildren. But unfortunately, 5 years ago, our third son died unexpectedly. He was 36 years old. He had his first heart attack and was not able to survive it. He was separated from his wife 3 years prior. He left 3 children, ages 8, 7, and 5 at the time. I can say that's the most painful and devastated trial I had encountered. But because of hope and grace of God, I was able to overcome it. I want to illustrate my experience of hope in a short video that inspired me in overcoming my struggles in life. I hope you too will be inspired.
For nearly 25 years, I wandered. I was born in 1968 to a good family, though we didn't believe in God. In fact, as I grew older, I began to make fun of people who thought God was real. I didn't need somebody else's make-believe God. I was certain He wasn't there. From age 14 to 22, I lived entirely for myself. I was popular in high school, and I partied hard. I even won 2 state basketball championships. By age 18, I had a full-ride scholarship to play college basketball. I felt like I was on my way. But 4 years later, it all came crashing down. I'd made some bad choices, and gradually I lost everything I had earned. I'll never forget the day, at age 22, on a Thursday, that I decided to end my life. I sat in the school cafeteria that day, thinking about how I was going to do it, how I would spend my last weekend on Earth, when I overheard 2 girls at a nearby table talking about fasting and prayer. I interrupted, asking them what fasting was. One of them told me it was something they did when they wanted help from God. It seemed so silly, but I listened, intrigued. That night, all alone, I knelt down and prayed for the first time in my life. I told God that I was going to fast, that I'd go without food and water for 24 hours, but that I wanted Him to show Himself to me. And so I fasted. And for the first time in 8 years, I went without drugs and alcohol. But by the next day, nothing had happened. I didn't want to end my life anymore, but God never spoke to me. And so I forgot about the whole thing. I knew He didn't exist. I went on with my life. And then oddly, a month later, an old friend called inviting me over. A friend I hadn't seen in 5 years. So we hung out one day, catching up on old times. When out of the blue he said, "Todd, I don't know how to tell you this. I was scared to even invite you over. But yesterday I had a strong impression from God to call you. And God impressed me to tell you that He needs you on His side. Today." I was speechless. Was God real? Had He answered my prayer? Had He sent someone to me? I couldn't believe it, but He had. With my friend's help, for the next year and a half, I fought like a lion to overcome all my problems. Up and down I went, succeeding and failing along the way. But little by little, I started to see small but obvious things happen in my life. The answers to questions that had long bothered me began to be revealed. Slowly, things started to change. Finally, I decided to attend church. One day, someone there reached out, inviting me to a church-sponsored picnic. I felt a bit awkward about it, but I decided to go. It turned out to be the straightest party I had ever been to. No drugs, no alcohol, silly games for the kids everyone had brought. And then we had lunch, and someone wanted to pray over the hot dogs. I thought it was strange, but I bowed my head and closed my eyes. And then my life changed. 2 years after that initial fast and prayer, 700 days after I had pleaded with God in my closet, I felt something I had never felt in my life. Something 20 times stronger than any drug I had ever taken. It was as if someone were hugging me, as if someone were telling me I was home, that these people were good, and that I needed to be with them, that God was there, and that He knew me by name, and that He loved me. I had always thought that if God were to manifest Himself to me, that He would come down in a lightning bolt, or in a great clash of fire. But I learned that day at the picnic that I was wrong. I realized that it is part of our condition as mortals to sometimes feel as though we are surrounded by darkness. But even though we may feel lost, that God promises to illuminate the way before us, no matter how long it takes. For 2 years, God had nurtured a questioning soul. Little by little, He had given me as much as I could handle, until the day I was humble enough to hear fully what He wanted to tell me. I also learned by my own experience that spiritual light rarely comes to those who merely sit in darkness, waiting for someone to flip a switch. It takes an act of faith to open our eyes to the light of Christ. 20 years later, I still don't know everything, but I now know who I am. I know who God is, and I know that God's light is real.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Mami Vivian, sa iyong very inspiring sharing about moving on in life. Mami Nardine, ang dami niyang napagdaanan sa buhay. At syempre, lahat ng mga nabanggit ni Mami Vivian ay atin pong pagyamanin. No? Marami siyang mga na-share sa atin na pwede nating mai-apply sa ating buhay. No, kanya-kanya kasing yan, Mami pagsubok, no? Every individual, every family, we are all distinct and of course unique yung mga pinagdadaanan natin base sa kalagayan natin sa buhay, di ba? And isa nga sa mga magagandang matutunan natin, kasi alam natin mahirap talaga ang buhay. We really have to learn the art of moving on, no? Para sa akin kasi yan, Mami, it's a process, kaya nabanggit kong art. Merong proseso talaga ang moving on. Ayan. So, Mami, meron tayong mga tips na may babahagi sa ating mga katahanan, sa mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon na nais mag-move on. At I'm sure yung ating mga tagapakinig din ngayon, I'm sure makaka-relate sila sa mga babanggitin natin ngayon. At nais kong simulan, Mami, ang isa sa mga way paano mag-move on sa ating buhay. No? One way to move on sa mga hurt, sa mga pasakit natin sa buhay is to make the decision to let it go. Sobrang mahirap to, Mami, no? Yung you've been hurt, pero meron palang paraan, ano? And that is to make the decision to let it go. Sabi nga, ang mga bagay-bagay, hindi agad-agad nawawala yan. Siyempre naman, Mami, di mo, after going through a very hurting situation, hindi mo agad maiisip yun na let it go, no? Hindi ka mapapakanta ng let it go. Pero eventually, marirealize mo rin, no? Pagka nag-sink in na sa'yo yung mga bagay-bagay, ay darating din yung panahon na magkakaroon ka ng desisyon, no? Na i-let go na yung mga hurts na yun. Sabi ko nga kanina, Mami, it's a process, no? Kailangan maging mapasensya tayo sa ating mga sarili, and because we have that, yung ating patience, no? We can decide to let go. Okay? Ibig sabihin din na making the conscious decision to let it go also means accepting you have a choice to let it go. Kanya-kanya kasi yan, Mami. May mga tao kasi na madaling mag-let go. Di ba? Ng mga hurts or ng mga problema. And sabi nga, pero may mga tao na mahirap, parang it will take centuries. Or it will take years, no? Pero of course, kahit na ganun katagal, darating din naman yung panahon na makakapag-decide din siya na unti-unti. Di ba ikaw, Mami, personal experience mo, parang pag tumagal-tagal na rin yung problema, parang okay, yan na talaga. You have to accept and let it go. Okay? Ang sabi nga din po nung ating psychologist dito sa ating research ay to stop reliving the past pain, to stop going over the details of the story in your head every time you think of the other person. You need to, of course, mamaya sabihin mo to, Mami, express your pain, no? Yun na yung next natin. So, Mami, yun pala, no? Ipakipaliwanag mo nga, ano nga ba itong important step na to para po magkaroon po tayo ng kapayapaan and to have a choice to let it go.
So, number 2, express your pain and your responsibility. Alam mo, Mami Fem, pag ikaw ay nasasaktan, talagang lalo tayong mga babae, we have the tendency to keep on relieving those pain. Pero maganda rin naman yun dahil the more na ino-open mo yung pain na yan, the more na unti-unti namang mawangla. And of course, when you express your pain, see to it na yung namang taong kausap mo ay magbibigay ng kaliwanagan sa iyong nararamdaman, hindi yung taong susulsulang ka ng susulsulang because it will not help. That's why, when we express our pain, we have to see to it that yung taong kausap mo ay maaaring may mapulot ng maganda. At hindi naman din toxic, no? So, express the pain, the heart that made you feel, whether you say it to the person concerned. Minsan kasi kung may kakayahan tayong we say that to the person concerned, mas maganda. Pero kung hindi naman, doon sa isang trusted person where you can vent out all the pain. This way, slowly, you can understand the hurt. Let us also understand that hurt we are feeling, though in our minds, people cause it to happen, we must also accept that the fact that we are also responsible sa pain na naramdaman natin. Kasi ang pain naman, hindi mangyayari, di ba? It is always sabi nga nila, it takes two to tango. Ha? Ask ourselves, what could have I done differently next time? Or will I wallow to that hurt and make this pain my identity? Let us always remember that in every storm, a rainbow will rise. So, siyempre ramdamin natin ang pain na yan. Pero huwag tayo mag-dwell sa pain na yun. And we also have to ask ourselves, bakit ba nangyari ang pain na ito? Kasi di man mangyayari ang pain kung wala ka ring kasalanan o wala ka ring responsibilidad sa pain na yan. Okay?
Yes, Mami. Yeah, I agree, no? Personally, in connection with that, when you express your pain, you're not just sharing to the other person, but ang isa sa paraan ko para maibsan, no, yung aking nararamdamang pasakit, no, o sakit sa dibdib, is I pray. And of course, coupled with that prayer is shedding tears.
Oo.
No, yung bang iiyak mo. Minsan may mga tao talaga na gusto kong sabihin sa kanila pagka may mga friends ako na lumalapit at mabigat ang kanyang. Sige, iiyak mo yan. There's nothing wrong. Kahit lalaki pa siya Iiyak mo yan. There's nothing wrong if you cry. It's an expression of your courage to face the world, no? Courage to face another chapter of your life kasi you have to really express that pain. Sabi ko nga, moving on is a process, no? Hindi siya yung biglaan na lang, sige, okay na ako. Hindi naman siya ganun
Oo naman.
Dadaan ka talaga sa grief. And I think, and based on experience, pag dumaan ka sa grief stage, ang dali na mag-move on. Kasi, ilabas mo na yung nais mong sabihin, yung mga nais mong i-express. Yan. And of course, part of expressing my pain is reading the scriptures, yung banal na kasulatan. No? Yan ang isa sa aking mga paraan para ako ay maibsan yung aking nararamdamang sakit, no, sa dibdib. Okay, lalo na pag it involves sa person. No? Kanina nabanggit mo, Mami, calamities, no? Yung isa sa mga yan, napaka-tragic event ng buhay ng isang tao, no? Yung how to move on. Baka pwede kang mag-share, Mami, mamaya, no? Yung experiences nyo in moving on dun sa Bagyong Yolanda yan, Mami.
Oo, sister.
Oo, yan. Okay, and of course, our next is stop being the victim and blaming others. Kasi, Mami, talagang syempre, lalo na pag wagi ka dun sa sitwasyon, no? Nagkakaroon ka ng self-pity. Diba? It adds another pain kasi naawa ka sa sarili mo. Kaya naman, sabi nga, in every moment, you have the choice to continue to feel bad about another person's action. Kasi parang inaano mo na nagsinisisi mo na yung, lagi kang may sinisisi ang isang tao, no? Which is normal for us, no? Lalo na kung talagang yung taong yun ang nakasakit sa'yo. Okay? But you need to take responsibility for your own happiness. Kumbaga, hindi ka happy dahil may umapi sa'yo. Diba? Hindi yung happy ka kasi someone hurt you. Diba? Yun kaya naman, sa tingin ko, Mami, sa mga pagkakataon na yan ay, you just have to focus on expressing your pain. No? And hindi kasi nakakadagdag yung fault finding na tinatawag. No? Sabi mo nga kanina, pagka tayo ay may kaibigan na may problema, wag natin pang pabigatin pa yung kanyang sasabihin mo, ay kasi ganito, kasi naman yang si ganyan. So parang hindi siya nakakatulong. It adds pain. Oo, kaya ako talaga, whenever I have friends na may pain, I just listen. And if they want my opinion about it, I just course them to mga inspiring passages in the scriptures that will help them. And of course, express my love to them that hindi sila nag-iisa. Andito lang ako to listen and damayan siya kung ano man yung nararamdaman niya. And also, when I have friends na ganyan, nag-express sila ng kanilang hurts, I also share what I've been through, yung mga past experiences ko, kung paano ko rin siya nalampasan. Alam mo, ang dami kong experiences before na yung meron akong friend na inayakan ko lang talaga yung problema ko sa kanya. After nun, sobrang ang sarap ng feeling. No? At tapos nagbigay pa siya ng prayer. Sabi niya, sis, sabi niya, gusto kong mag-extend ng prayer for you. Ay, sobra akong naiyak. Sobra akong na-touch, Mami. So I let her pray for me.
Yeah.
And after that, sobra akong na-relieve. Kahit nandyan pa yung problema, pero yung the fact that there's someone who's nakikiramay sa'yo, na may panahon sa'yo pakinggan ka, it means a lot. No? Ayan. So, Mami, I think the next tip, may may kaugnayan sa nabanggit ko.
Okay, sabi dito next natin ay focus on the present. The here and now, enjoy. Alam mo, Mami, yung nangyari sa amin sa Yolanda, very depressing, lalong-lalo na kami, Mami Fem, kasi meron akong elementary school na pinaghirapan kong buuin, pinaghirapan kong kumplituhan ng gamit. Isang taon bago siya nakumpleto, and then isang araw lang, i-wash out ng tubig dagat na ang taas ng dagat ay hanggang first floor ng bahay. Imagine mo yung pain na lahat ng hard-earned money mo doon nilagay. Parang ang nasa sarili ko nga ay, sabi ko ayoko na kasi hindi ko na alam how will I start. Pero nung tinitingnan ko yung mga estudyanteng ayaw umalis, I have to do something. So, imbis na mainis ako sa mundo, mainis na sabi ko, Lord, nangyari ito, siguro may magandang dahilan. Ikaw nang bahala magbigay sa amin ng mga bagay-bagay na para ito tayo namin ulit. So, ganoon talaga ang buhay. Hindi ka magde-dwell doon sa... Kasi pag nag-dwell ka, hindi ka na rin nakapag-isip ng tama. So, yung sinasabing, stop reliving the past. Stop telling of this pain and let people feel you are a victim. We can't undo the past, but it can serve us as a lesson. Make every day the best day of your life. Okay? Kailangan talaga yan, no? When we focus the here and now, we have less time to think about the past. The past may crop up from time to time, hindi mawawala yan. Bigla ka na suddenly, ang ganda-ganda na, bigla mo naalala, no? Acknowledge them for a moment. And then, bring back yourself to the reality or to the present. And tell yourself, okay lang yan. It's alright. Remember, if we crowd our brains and lives with hurt feelings, there is a little room of anything positive. Natural talaga yan ang tao ay nakakaramdam ng sakit, nakakaramdam ng frustration, yung sinasabing when things don't turn out the way you want them to be, wag ka malungkot kasi meron niyang ibang ibibigay. Hindi man naibigay sa iyo yung gusto mo, hindi man nangyari yung gusto mo, ibig sabihin, mayroong mas magandang plano. It's a choice you're making to continue to feel hurt rather than welcoming your life to happiness and to be in love with the present. No? Kasi ang pagkalungkot, ang pagkalugmo, ay choice natin yan. Ang paging happy at paging positive, choice din natin yan. So, saan ka luluga? Siyempre, doon ka sa kung saan ka liligaya, saan ka magiging productive, and wag mo rin namang sabihin, wala na akong pakialam sa past. Remember, yung past na rin yun ay nakakatulong para maging isang mabuting tao ka, nakakatulong para mas mapaunlad mo iyong sarili. Okay? Remember too, that we have our own destiny that will make our lives worth living. So, kung ikaw man ay nasaktan, tingnan mo ito sa paraang ikaw ay may tinuturong lesson at ito ay maaring hindi para sa'yo, kaya wag mo nang balik-balikan at tumingin ka na mas malawak na paningin at makikita mo ang iyong kalungkutan, ang sakit ng dibdib ay mapapalitan ng isang masayang bukas. Yan, Mami.
Wow, very well said, Mami. Nakaka-relate ako sa sinasabi mo, no? Totoo lahat ng mga nabanggit mo na itong ating mga past hurts will make us stronger. May purpose ang bawat hurt na yan, no? Without that, we cannot develop the faith sa ating Panginoon, di ba? Without the pain, kung lagi na lang masaya, hindi tayo mag-grow. Di ba? those things will help us grow. Kasi minsan yung iba, parang sinisisi na lahat no? Even the Lord, no? Sinisisi na nila lahat. Pero hindi nila alam na yung mga pains na yan yung manifestation ng pagmamahal ng Panginoon sa atin. Yan ang aking kasi gusto kanyang mag-grow, gusto kanyang matikman ang kung paano ba yung mga sakit sa buhay, sa dibdib, no? Kasi ito yung paraan para lumapit ka sa Kanya. Yung minsang paraan ng Diyos bibigyan ka niya ng isang pagsubok sa buhay para lalong tumibay yung pananampalataya mo sa Kanya at sa sarili mo din, no? Na, di ba, Mami? Kasi kung puro masaya na, paano ka pa mag-grow, di ba? At syempre, ang daming lessons learned. No? And we can use that to help others also grow because you experienced that first. Okay? And of course, last but not the least, this is, I think, one of the most challenging part of moving on, which is forgiveness. Kasi most of the time, yung ating mga problema sa buhay, it involves people around us. And sometimes, those people who are really dear to our heart, diba? Meron dyan na iniwan ng asawa. Niloko ng isang kaibigan, no? At ito nga, I think the post-elections hurt a lot of people because marami doon ang hindi pabor sa resulta ng eleksyon, no? And it hurts them a lot, no? I know people who are really mourning because of what happened. Pero eventually, I know that time will heal wounds. Ako naniniwala ako dyan, Mami. Siyempre, no, maraming tao talaga ang naka-apekto ng buhay natin, politically and personally. Pero, sabi nga ng Diyos, if we don't forgive, hindi rin tayo mapo-forgive ng ating Panginoon. So, dahil dun sa Bible verse na yan, Mami, it helped me learn the art of forgiveness. Although it's not that easy, pero we really have to exert effort through prayers, of course. And of course, yung ating mindset na we need to move on. So, we really have to forgive others, no? And hindi lang yung ibang tao. Minsan kasi yung moving on, hindi natin magawa kasi hindi natin mapatawad yung sarili natin. No, lalo na pag tayo yung nakasakit ng isang tao or may ginawa ka na hindi kaaya-aya, it's really hard to forgive oneself. Parang andyan yung laging guilt feeling na tinatawag, Mami. Kaya naman, pagka yan ay naramdaman natin, naniniwala ako, Mami, that there is a God that will help us to go through the healing process. And apart from the Lord, no, na pag tayo ay nanalangin, no, to help us, there are people who can help us to help you realize that forgiveness is possible. No? Kasi yung iba talagang, I cannot blame others if it will take time to forgive. Siyempre, yan yung pakiramdam nila. Pero niniwala ako, Mami, na we really have to exert effort. Do the best that we can to forgive. Kasi if there's no forgiveness, hindi ka makaka-move on ng totally. Alam mo yung pakiramdam, Mami, na pagka you're free of all the baggages na dinadala-dala mo dyan because hindi ka nakapag-forgive or yung sarili mo hindi mo na nabigyan ng pagkakataon na ma-forgive, mapatawad, no? Ang sarap ng feeling, Mami, pag nawala yun. Parang another life, another chapter of your life. But kumbaga sa libro, you're closing that chapter of your life so that you can move on to the next chapter. Another trial, no? So ang trial talaga, Mami, it's really part of our life. Hindi na natin yan, mga katahanan, hindi na natin yan maiiwasan. Kaya naman, itong tips na to, mga 5 ways to move on in life is very important. No? Tandaan lang natin itong mga to. Okay? Make the decision to let it go. Well, express your pain. Stop blaming others and stop being the victim. And of course, focus on the present and forgive them and yourself. Oh, another, ano masasabi mo, Mami? As we conclude this episode.
Mga kausapang pantahanan, mga kaibigan, wag nating sayangin ang panahon sa pagdedwell sa mga sakit sa buhay. Kasi our life is short. Let us not make it shorter. Huh? Let us enjoy our family. Kung pwedeng mag-forgive, forgive. Kasi at the end of the day, sila pa rin naman ang magiging kasama mo, lalo-lalo kung kayo may sakit at hindi ka nakakaya magsarili. These are the very people, lalo sa family, ang magiging kasama mo. Kaya kung meron mga hidwaan, meron mga differences, sana tapusin na at i-enjoy ang isa't isa. Kasi hindi rin natin alam kung kailan ang curtain will fall. Diba?
Yes.
Sayang naman yung sana. We're
Oo.
given all the opportunities, pero hindi natin pinansin yung opportunities na yun.
Yes.
Kasi yung Mami Fem, ang nakakasaan din sa mga sakit-sakit natin ng dibdib is the pride.
Yes. Tapos huli na, no? Wala na yung tao. You cannot, hindi mo na masasabi kung ano yung mga gusto mo sabihin sa kanya na mahal mo siya, natutawad ko na siya, di ba? Sa mga sayang, no? Kaya naman, wag na natin i-procrastinate yung moving on, no? I know it's hard, but then life is too short. We need to enjoy Kahit na may problema, we need to enjoy life. We are here to be happy despite of all challenges. It's just a matter of choice, sabi nga natin. You can always choose to be happy no matter what's your circumstances na pinagdadaanan sa buhay. Ayan, Mami Narlene, talaga namang very inspiring yung ating chat. At medyo may mga background na kung doggies.
Okay lang yan. Ganun talagang buhay.
Oo, no? Oo. Anyway, thank you very much mga kausapang pantahanan sa pagsama ninyo sa amin, and we hope na may natutunan po tayong lahat dito sa topic na to. And of course, we would like to thank Mommy Vivian for sharing a wonderful message about moving on in life. Thank you very much, Mommy Vivian, for your time. And of course, Mommy Narlene, let us invite our katahanan sa ating mga susunod pang episode, and like, share, and subscribe na rin. Ayan. So, Mommy Narlene, what are your parting message to them?
Bago ako magpaalam, Mami Vivian, maraming salamat po. Very inspiring po yung mga shinare. At sana po, ang mga nakarinig sa amin ay maaring gawing gabay. Huh? And of course, thank you mga kaibigan, kausapang pantahanan. Sabi nga ni Mami Fem, please like and share our YouTube channel. And if it is not asking too much, please include Lalin's project. Marami rin po kayo matututunan doon. And again, let us all be safe. Please wear your mask kahit saan kayo magpunta. Minsan kasi Mami Fem, nakakalimutan ko yan. And again, let us offer all our lives to God and ask Him to guide us at para-enjoy ang buhay, ang mga natitirang buhay natin dito sa mundo. Be kind to everyone, be gentle with your words, and again, Mami Fem and I, Mami Narlene, loves you very, very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mami Narlene. Have a nice weekend. Ito po si Mami Fem.
Si Mami Narlene, greetings you from Leyte.
Oh, hello, Leyte. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ingat po kayo.